The hard truth. I recently got my accountant to start sharing monthly reports, not of the whole business, but of the individual properties. And I'm telling you now, it was crazy. On this video, I'm gonna reveal it all. Simon here, welcome back to the channel. And if you're brand new, welcome. This is the biggest rent-to-rent channel on YouTube. And I dedicate a lot of my time and resources to documenting what I'm doing in my 7-figure revenue rent-to-rent business so I can help you. And the whole thing with this is I'm actually doing this and I'm just documenting it, all right? Because I feel like a lot of people talk about rent-to-rent, a lot of people talk about property strategies, but I don't see them actually on the ground doing it anymore. And I want to be, fully transparent and honest with my business. And furthermore, when I was learning, I wanted to learn from somebody that was doing it. So that's what this channel is all about. If that sounds good, if you find this refreshing, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. If you're not already logged into YouTube, create an account, log in, subscribe so that you can comment. I will answer all your questions right below. So I've got a 7-figure rent-to-rent revenue business split between SAs and HMO. And what I found is as I begin to scale further and further and further and further, we've had as many as 12 staff. We're actually down to 8 now, and we're slightly more optimized, okay? But what it's made me do is really look at the properties, their performance, especially with the utility bills and the cost of living going up. I want to make sure that I'm 3 steps ahead. So what I did was I got reports of every single property in my portfolio, and we actually created a leaderboard. The top properties are smashing it, okay, highest cash flow, and then the bottom properties are smashing it less, or some of them actually losing money. And I had a look at the reports, and to be honest with you, it was pretty shocking, because some of the units I thought that they're not doing that great are killing it, and some of the units I thought must be doing good because of where they're situated were actually struggling. And a big variable here was on my serviced accommodation because of the VAT that we now pay. So when you're brand new to rent, you do your figures, you do your average nightly rate, you times it by 30, you cut it in half to make sure you're breaking even at 50%. But you're not taking into consideration VAT. And when you grow, that means that a lot of your properties won't be performing as you originally thought they would. So what does that mean? I guess I'm not saying that you should do figures based on VAT when you're starting, but it's something to be aware of, because £3,000 of revenue on a serviced accommodation unit, only £100 a night, it's not 3 grand, bro. It's not. Because the VAT man's taken 20% off the top. So it's more like 2,400. Unless you can find creative ways to add the VAT for your businesses or to increase your rates, etc. So I was looking at this and I realized I've probably got 10%, if not 15% of my portfolio that aren't doing what I thought they were, in a bad way. So it's sad. And I don't really want to see them go because I've worked really hard to acquire them. But the fact of the matter is, I think it might be time for me to get rid of some of these or do something different, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, okay, burying your head in the sand and expecting different results. And I'm not willing to do that, especially because I think we're going to be going deeper into this recession. On the other hand, on a positive note, some properties at the top of the leaderboard are killing it. And I'm going to share with you a couple of the patterns that I've seen with these. The first thing is they are in banging locations, absolutely epic locations. And the second thing is they're larger properties. Okay, so that means that people are willing to travel a little bit more, or they're willing to pay a bit more, or they're willing to put more in advance just because they're bigger properties, which means that they're a lot more competitive compared to hotels. So my plan is to get more of the properties at the top of the leaderboard, to let go of a few at the bottom, Or, I never thought I would say this, but if I've got a deal that's only earning £300 a month because of the VAT, and I source that on to somebody that was brand new in rent to rent, happy to manage it themselves, they could make £800 or £1,000 on the same deal that I can only make £300 on. And that is the first ever really good reason I've found for sourcing properties on. Never heard anybody say it either. I'm just keeping it real. Because if I've got a deal that's only making me £300 because I'm paying £600 in VAT, you're like, Simon, you've lost me. Let me break it down. £3,000 of income minus 20% gives me 2,400. Let's say the guaranteed rent is, I don't know, let's just say 1,400, and let's say the bills are 700. Quick math. That means I'm making a few hundred. But if Sheila managed it, brand new rent to renter, not VAT registered, hers would be able to add the VAT back on, which would be £900 profit. So maybe I should source those on for a fee. So that's it from me. If you found this useful, make sure you follow me, okay? Follow me right now, because there's crazy things going on in the world and we're going to be putting things in place to overcome them. And I would like to think that all the things I'm learning at this level of scale, I can share with you so that you don't make the same mistakes, all right? So all you got to do, hit the subscribe button, like this video if you find value. Any questions you've got, comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.